AI in marketing is really nothing new. I know an AI expert who has basically been doing nothing for the last 10 years other than using artificial intelligence to help with customer acquisition marketing for a major telecom provider. 8 years ago, I was using different AI techniques and tools like Microsoft Azure to do things like make predictions in marketing and to segment customer bases. What's different is that 10 years ago, a more popular term was used, and it's called machine learning. Now AI is the popular term. So really what's happened is we've undergone a rebranding, a superficial rebranding of what we now call artificial intelligence or AI. So it's just rebranding an old idea. Now, I'm going to give you 3 examples of where AI has already had a huge contribution to the marketing world. The first is cluster analysis. Now, usually when marketers want to segment the market, what they do is they make arbitrary decisions. We're going to segment by male and female. We're going to segment by the size of the company. We're going to make guesses at how we're going to split up customer bases. But cluster analysis is using artificial intelligence where we input tons of data. So for example, 2,000 survey responses on 20 different questions. And we say, okay, AI, tell us what the market segments are. And then we can look at a graph and we can see clearly that there are around maybe 5 major segments, and they cluster around different variables. So for example, maybe it's people that travel a lot. They also happen to be in their 30s and they suffer a particular pain point. And that cluster has been created with artificial intelligence because humans are actually really bad with dealing with large data sets, looking at things that are overly complex. AI does a good job of doing that. Cluster analysis does a good job of doing that. So the first example is segmentation. The second example is something we call RFM. So RFM is a model that marketers have used to predict who is most likely to respond to something like a direct mail letter. And what RFM stands for is recency, frequency, and monetary value. But now we don't need to rely on RFM. We can rely on something more sophisticated, which is artificial intelligence, predictive analytics. Now, the third example is using AI to make other predictions. And one good example of this is when we're trying to predict what product customers will likely buy next so that we can push that product to them, whether it's through email, direct mail, or an advertisement. So this is what we call a next product buy prediction. And artificial intelligence is how we do that. So marketers have been using AI for a long time. They often just called it machine learning. But the key challenge was that it was generally most useful with large companies because large companies could afford the tools, the upgrades, the AI upgrades in Salesforce, for example, or the advanced statistical equipment that you needed to analyze, and also just the large data sets. If you had a large number of customers, a large number of survey responses, then you could use AI effectively. So it wasn't as useful for small businesses that are more agile and just can't afford these capabilities. Now we have tools like ChatGPT, which is free, that empower small companies to be able to use AI in their marketing.